In Wolverhampton, we've been using eBooks extensively with a variety of technology, ranging from PDAs through to netbooks, through to laptops and through to whiteboards, all of which have been extremely successful. And our children have found using the technology to access the text not only makes it more fun for them, it's also really engaging. And children who are reluctant readers, who don't want to read and have traditionally avoided reading, are actually excited about the prospect of reading using the technology.
We can edit it and then start writing it how we want it to.
Because you can highlight the words that you want, like verbs and adjectives and adverbs.
They absolutely love being able to have a new ebook on their PDA and be able to read it themselves. And they have been quite motivated by it. They've gone off and said, I've written another story, even though the kind of project has come to an end for us now and we're just displaying them and doing the final touches. But they've been going off writing stories on their own today.
When we first introduced eBooks into Wolverhampton, there was a certain degree of nervousness among teaching staff, as you would expect. It's new technology and it's something that they hadn't experienced before. But once they'd tried them, once they'd had a little go with them and saw the power that is behind the eBook, the things that they can do with it, they very quickly warmed to it. And the technology, although on looking at it at face value, you look at it and think, wow, this does an awful lot, it must be complicated. They soon realise that it's not, and that it is really very intuitive.
The crash happened in 2021. Alien spaceships have landed on Earth. Now the Earth is dark and cold.
This session is a typical eBook session that we run in Wolverhampton, mainly with Year 6 but with some Year 5 children. It involves all the narrative techniques. We do an awful lot of focused work on vocabulary.
Explained. Is explained the right word? Let's think about it. What are you doing with explained? You're explaining something. There's another word very similar. Explained.
One of the wonderful things about eBooks is the degree of interactivity that you have with them, which is completely different to anything that you've experienced with a paperback book, because most children will be familiar with being told, don't put a note in the book, don't stick anything in the book, don't fold the corner over. With eBooks, it's all about, right, you can do this, you can highlight a word, you can look up the meaning of a word with the embedded dictionary, you can add a bookmark. Children can add a text note just to remind them that this is a good example of an adjective because, or teachers can embed a text note, and that can be a variety of ways of doing that. eBooks in our schools have been used very effectively because what we're finding is that rather than having huge class sets of paperback book that need to be replaced annually or even more often, these books are sturdy, they're robust because they're digital, and they are making accessing texts much easier in the classroom. The teachers can use them on a laptop or they can access them from the network. Using computers, whether they be mobile, whether they be notebooks, whether they be standalone computers or laptops, it has a massive impact on children's achievement and on their desire to achieve. As a result, they produce some fantastic work. That work can then be put onto the learning platform. It can be broadcast to a wider audience, to the school, to their parents. They can actually create a book. They can show that to other people, and they can see a book that is of a standard that is worthy of any published author today. And the motivation that the children get from that and the sense of achievement that they get from that is immeasurable.